The day my mother died, it felt like the entire world slowed to a crawl. I remember the overcast sky, the scent of hospital disinfectant lingering in the air, and the steady beep of machines that could do nothing to bring her back. My name is Olivia Carter, and that was the day my life shattered. My father, Robert Carter, stood at the foot of her bed, holding her hand long after the light in her eyes faded. At first, I believed he was grieving. We all were. But as the weeks turned into months, I noticed something wasn't right with him. And eventually, I uncovered a secret so deep, so painful, I couldn't stay silent. My mother, Elaine Carter, was the kind of woman everyone admired. She was kind but firm, full of warmth, and had a sense of purpose that guided our family like a compass. Losing her was like losing the foundation of our home. I had just turned 25, fresh into a marketing job in Chicago, and I returned home to Ohio the moment I got the call. I stayed with Dad in our old house to help him sort through things, both practically and emotionally. At first, he seemed broken. He walked through the halls like a ghost, silent most days, his meals going untouched. I worried constantly. I tried everything to bring him back to life. Cooking Mom's favorite meals, playing her favorite records, showing him old pictures. He appreciated it, but he never truly responded. Until he did. It started with a phone call late at night. I passed by his study one evening around midnight, thinking he'd gone to bed, but I heard his voice through the slightly open door. I paused, curious. It wasn't grief I heard, it was laughter. Low, intimate, warm. I froze. The sound was so foreign to how he'd been since Mom's passing that it sent a chill up my spine. I didn't knock or enter. I just stood there, confused, until the conversation ended, and he emerged a few minutes later. He nearly jumped when he saw me. Couldn't sleep? I asked, trying to sound casual. He looked startled, then composed. No, just talking to an old friend. Go to bed, Liv. That was it. Nothing more. But I couldn't let it go. The next day, I searched for clues. I wasn't proud of snooping, but I told myself I was worried. I checked his phone, his laptop, anything I could find. At first, there was nothing. But then, I found the messages. Hidden in a folder under a generic name, dozens of emails, some dating back years. They weren't from a male friend like I had assumed. They were from a woman named Deborah Allen. And the content of those messages was anything but platonic. My breath caught in my throat as I read the affectionate words, the private jokes, the hints of secret meetings. And one message stood out among the rest. It was dated 2 months before Mom passed. It read, I hate seeing you struggle with her illness, Robert. Just remember, we have our time. We always will. I slammed the laptop shut, heart racing, nausea rising. This couldn't be real. My father, the devoted husband, had been having an affair while my mom was battling cancer? The woman who spent her final days worrying about us, never complaining, never asking why, she never knew. Or maybe she did. That thought hurt even worse. I didn't confront him right away. I needed to be sure. I needed proof. Over the next week, I watched him closely. He shaved every morning now, walk alone again, even started going out for walks in the evenings. One night, I followed him. He didn't see me slip into my car and trail behind his. I felt like a stalker, but I couldn't stop myself. I followed him into a quiet neighborhood across town. He pulled into a driveway I didn't recognize, walked up to the porch, and rang the bell. A woman answered. Mid-50s, blonde hair pulled back in a loose bun, dressed casually but neatly. She smiled when she saw him. And then they hugged. Not just a friendly hug, but one that lingered. One that meant something. I drove away before I saw more. I couldn't stomach it. Back home, I sat in the kitchen, my head in my hands, as memories of my mom flooded my mind. Her laughter, her strength, her love. And him, my dad, betraying all of it. When he returned an hour later, I was waiting. Who is Deborah Allen? I asked, voice shaking. His face went pale. For a moment, he didn't speak. Then he sat across from me and sighed, the weight of years pressing down on his shoulders. "She's someone I knew before I met your mother," he said slowly. "We were young, foolish, in love. But things didn't work out. When I met your mom, I thought that chapter was over. But we reconnected years later, while Mom was sick." I whispered. He closed his eyes. "It wasn't like that. At first, we just talked. She was someone who remembered me from before life got hard. Before hospitals and fear and watching someone you love disappear in front of you." I shook my head. "That's not an excuse." "I know," he said. "I'm not trying to justify it. I was wrong. I was scared. Your mother was everything to me, but watching her fade broke something in me. Deborah reminded me of who I was. But I never stopped loving your mother. Not for a second. I wanted to scream, to cry, to run. But I sat there, stunned. My father had lived a double life, and the man I thought I knew didn't exist anymore. What haunted me most wasn't just the betrayal. It was the possibility that my mother died without knowing, or worse, that she knew and said nothing. I couldn't sleep that night. I tossed and turned, haunted by the truth. The next day, I called my aunt, my mom's sister, Carol. I needed to know if Mom suspected anything. Carol's voice cracked as she spoke. "She knew," she said. "She never told you because she didn't want to ruin your image of your dad. She confronted him once. He denied it, of course. She chose to believe him. Or maybe she chose peace, knowing she didn't have much time left." I broke down. The silence my mother kept, the grace she held on to even when her world was crumbling, tore me apart. I had to do something. I couldn't pretend everything was okay. So I moved out the next day. I packed my things and told Dad I needed space. "I'm not cutting you off," I said. "But I can't pretend like this didn't happen. I need time." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "I understand, Liv. I truly am sorry." I moved back to Chicago, threw myself into work, but the pain followed me like a shadow. Friends noticed. I was quieter, more distant. I eventually told my best friend, Claire, everything. She listened without judgment, holding my hand as I sobbed through the story. "You don't have to forgive him now," she said. "Or ever. But don't let it rot you from the inside." She was right. So I started therapy. Slowly, I began to heal. I still called my dad sometimes, but our conversations were brief, surface level. He respected my boundaries. I appreciated that, at least. A year passed. On the anniversary of Mom's death, I returned home for the memorial service. My father stood next to me as we scattered wildflowers at her favorite park. He didn't bring Deborah. I think he knew it wasn't the place. Afterward, he approached me quietly. "I ended it," he said. "With Deborah. It wasn't right. I should have ended it long ago. I miss your mother every single day." I believed him. I saw the pain etched in his face. It didn't erase what he did. But it mattered. "I still need time," I told him. "I'll wait," he replied.